Alara sat alone in her room, staring at the old photograph of her and Mia. They were laughing together, their smiles bright and carefree. That moment felt like a lifetime ago. Since Mia moved away, everything had changed. Alara felt an emptiness. In her heart, a heavy sadness that lingered like a dark cloud. Mia had been more than just a friend. She was Alara's anchor. They shared secrets, dreams, and countless late-night conversations. When Mia's family decided to move across the country, Alara felt as if a part of her had been ripped away. They promised to stay in touch, but as the weeks turned into months, the calls became less frequent. Now, it had been almost a month since they last spoke, and Alara was starting to feel like a ghost in Mia's life. Every time Alara picked up her phone, she hesitated. What would she say? Hey, I miss you. It felt too weak. The thought of reaching out filled her with anxiety. She wanted to reconnect, to bridge the distance that had grown between them, but she didn't know how. Would Mia still care? Did she still think about Alara? These questions haunted her. One rainy afternoon, while looking out the window, Alara decided enough was enough. She couldn't let fear hold her back. She picked up her phone and typed a message to Mia. Hey, I've been thinking about you. A lot. How have you been? I miss you. After hitting send, she felt a rush of hope mixed with fear. What if Mia didn't respond? What if she had moved on? Days passed, and Alara felt her heart sink further with each moment of silence. She spent hours imagining all the fun Mia was having in her new town, making new friends, and living a life without her. The loneliness grew heavier, but deep down, she knew she had to try again. One evening, Alara gathered her courage and decided to call Mia. Her heart raced as she pressed the call button. It rang once, twice, and just as she thought it would go to voicemail, Mia answered, Hello. Mia's voice was warm, just like she remembered. Hey Mia, it's Alara, she said, trying to keep her voice steady. Alara, wow, it's been a while, how are you? Mia sounded genuinely happy to hear from her. I'm okay, just missing you, I guess, Alara admitted, feeling relieved that Mia still cared. I wanted to check in and see how you're doing. I've been good. It's different here, but I'm making new friends. I miss you too, though, Mia confessed. And Alara felt a spark of hope ignite within her. They talked about everything in their lives, the changes and the memories they shared. Alara felt the distance between them shrink with every word. It was as if no time had passed at all. They laughed about old jokes and shared stories about their new experiences. Alara could feel her heart lighten, the heaviness lifting as they connected once more. As they continued to chat, Alara realized that their friendship was not lost. It had simply transformed. They were still there for each other, even if they were miles apart. The hope that had felt so distant now blossomed in her heart. After their conversation, Alara felt a renewed sense of purpose. She began to plan. Visit to see Mia, excited about the idea of being together again. The distance didn't seem so daunting anymore. Instead, it felt like a challenge they could overcome. In the days that followed, Alara worked on herself, finding ways to keep in touch with Mia regularly. They set up video calls and planned for future visits, solidifying their bond despite the miles that separated them. Every message, every call, filled her with warmth, reminding her that true friendship could withstand any distance one day. As Alara stood in her room, she glanced at the photograph of her and Mia. It no longer felt like a reminder of loss, but rather a symbol of their enduring connection. They had faced the challenge of distance, and together, they would continue to thrive. As Alara breathed in deeply, she realized that she was stronger than she had ever thought possible. The sadness that once clouded her heart was now replaced with hope and determination. She had fought for her friendship, and in doing so, she had discovered something powerful within herself. She was meant to feel distant, but 10 seconds later, she walked out of her sadness, ready to embrace the bond she cherished so much. Alara sat in her favorite chair, her phone resting in her lap. After her call with Mia, she felt a sense of relief wash over her. It was like a weight had been lifted from her shoulders. Yet even with the joy of reconnecting, a lingering sadness remained. Despite their conversation, the distance between them still felt real. How could she bridge that gap? The next day, Alara woke up determined to take action. She couldn't let fear hold her back again. Her mind raced with ideas as she sat at her desk, pen in hand. She wanted to do something special for Mia, something that would remind her of the bond they shared. Suddenly, an idea sparked in her mind. She would create a scrapbook filled with their memories. Alara spent hours searching through old photos, carefully selecting moments that captured their friendship. There was the time they built a fort out of blankets in her living room, giggling as they pretended to be adventurers. There were pictures from their school events, silly selfies, and snapshots of their favorite hangout spots. Each photo brought back a flood of memories, filling her heart with warmth. As she worked on the scrapbook, Alara felt her spirits lift. She cut out colorful paper and wrote captions for each photo, recalling the stories behind them. She even added little notes, encouraging Mia to visit soon, imagining how happy they would be when they saw each other again. The project became a source of hope, a way to show Mia that their friendship was still strong despite the miles that separated them. Once Alara finished the scrapbook, she couldn't wait to send it to Mia. She carefully wrapped it up, adding a handwritten letter sharing her thoughts. In the letter, she expressed how much she missed Mia and how grateful she was for their friendship. She wrote about her desire to visit and make new memories together. With a mixture of excitement and nervousness, Lara headed to the post office to mail the package. As she dropped it into the mailbox, she felt a surge of hope. It was a small gesture, but it meant everything to her. She was taking a step forward, reaching out in a way that felt right. Days passed, and Alara found herself checking her phone constantly, waiting for Mia's response. She felt a mix of anticipation and anxiety. Would Mia love the scrapbook? It reminded her of their bond? Alara tried to focus on her daily life, but her thoughts kept drifting back to Mia. Finally, the day arrived when she received a notification on her phone. It was a message from Mia, and Alara's heart raced. She opened it eagerly, and her face lit up with a smile as she read, "Alara, I just got your package. I can't believe you made this scrapbook. It's amazing. I love every page you captured. So many beautiful memories. Thank you for putting so much thought into this. I miss you so much." Lara felt tears of joy welling in her eyes. Mia loved the scrapbook. It was the feedback she had hoped for, and it made all her efforts worthwhile. She quickly replied, her fingers flying over the screen as she poured out her feelings. "I'm so glad you liked it. I miss you too. I can't wait to make more memories together. Let's plan a visit soon. You mean so much to me, and I want to see you again." The conversation blossomed from there. They exchanged messages filled with laughter and ideas about what they wanted to do when they reunited. They talked about visiting their favorite cafe, going for long walks, and even planning a weekend camping trip like they used to. Each message deepened the connection between them, reminding Alara that distance couldn't break the bond they shared. As the days turned into weeks, Alara felt a renewed sense of purpose. She realized that she was not just waiting for things to get better. She was actively working to strengthen her friendship with Mia. She found herself smiling more, feeling lighter and more hopeful. Alara began to see the world differently. She recognized that she had the power to shape her own path, to fight for the relationships that mattered most. With every message exchanged and every plan made, she felt stronger. She understood that true friendship could conquer any distance, and she was determined to keep it alive. One evening, while looking out at the sunset, Alara thought about how far she had come since Mia moved away. She had transformed her sadness into action, and she felt proud of herself for taking those steps. As the sky turned to shades of orange and pink, she realized that she was no longer meant to feel distant. With renewed hope, Alara knew that soon she would see Mia again. 10 seconds later, she walked out of her uncertainty, ready to embrace the joy of their friendship once more. Alara sat at her desk, her heart full of hope after the lovely exchange with Mia. Each message they sent brought them closer, yet a part of her still felt a pang of loneliness. She longed to see Mia in person, to share hugs and laughter like they used to. The distance between them felt like an invisible wall, and Alara wanted to break it down. With a determined spirit, Lara decided she needed to take the next step. She wanted to plan a visit to Mia's new town. The idea filled her with excitement and nervousness. What if it didn't go as she imagined? What if Mia had changed too much? But deep down, she knew she couldn't let fear control her. She had fought against distance before, and she could do it again. Alara opened her laptop and started searching for train tickets. It was a long journey, but she felt that the effort would be worth it. As she clicked through the options, her mind raced, with thoughts of what they could do together. She envisioned them exploring new places, trying new foods, and revisiting their favorite memories. The excitement made her smile. After booking her ticket, Alara felt a rush of joy. She could hardly wait for the day to arrive, to make the trip even more special. She decided to prepare a surprise for Mia. She wanted to bring a little piece of home with her. A box filled with their favorite snacks and some fun games they used to play together. It would be a reminder of their bond and the good times they had shared. As Alara gathered the treats, she found herself reflecting on their friendship. Even though they lived in different places now, their connection remained strong. She realized that friendships could adapt and grow, even with distance. This thought filled her with hope. She knew that their reunion would be a celebration of everything they had overcome. The days passed slowly, but with each sunrise, Alara felt her excitement building. She counted down the hours until her departure, imagining the look on Mia's face when she saw her. Finally, the day arrived. Alara packed her bag, her heart racing with anticipation. She felt like a kid on Christmas morning, ready for an adventure. As the train rolled along the tracks, Alara gazed out the window, watching the landscape change. Fields, trees, and rivers blurred past her. Each passing scene fueled her excitement. She thought of all the moments they would create together and how they would strengthen their friendship. It wasn't just a visit. It was a chance to reconnect on a deeper level. After a few hours, the train pulled into Mia's town. Lara's heart raced as she stepped onto the platform. She took a deep breath, feeling a mix of nerves and joy. Town was different but beautiful, with quaint shops and friendly faces. Lara quickly navigated her way to Mia's new neighborhood, her heart pounding with each step. When she finally reached Mia's house, she stood at the door for a moment, her hand hovering over the bell. What if Mia wasn't home? What if she had changed too much? But Alara shook off her doubts. She had come too far to turn back now. Taking a deep breath, she pressed the doorbell. Mia opened the door, and for a moment they both stood in shock. Then, a grin broke out on Mia's face, and she shouted, "Alara!" They rushed into each other's arms, laughter spilling out as if no time had passed. The warmth of their hug melted away the distance that had once felt so heavy. "I can't believe you're here," Mia exclaimed, pulling back to look at Alara. "This is amazing. Wanted to surprise you," Alara replied, her heart soaring. "I brought some snacks and games. Let's have a fun weekend together." Mia's eyes sparkled with excitement. "Let's do it. I've missed you so much." As they spent the weekend together, Alara felt the distance fade away. They shared stories, played games, and even explored the town. Every moment reminded them of the strong bond they had built over the years. Alara realized that their friendship was not just about being in the same place. It was about understanding, caring, and supporting each other, no matter where they were. On the last evening of her visit, as they sat outside watching the stars, Alara felt a deep sense of gratitude. She had taken a leap of faith, and it had paid off. They were still connected, stronger than ever, in that moment. Alara understood that the distance had only made their friendship more resilient. With a renewed sense of hope, Alara knew that she would continue to fight for their bond. She was no longer meant to feel distant. 10 seconds later, she walked out of her doubts and into a future filled with friendship and joy. Alara returned home from her visit to Mia with a heart full of joy. But as the days passed, a familiar sadness crept back in. The weekend had been perfect, filled with laughter and memories, but now she was back to her routine. The distance between them felt real again, and Alara found herself staring at her phone. Missing Mia more than ever, at first they texted every day, sharing photos and stories from their weekend together. But slowly, the messages became less frequent. Mia was busy with her new job and making friends in her town. Lara understood, but it still hurt. She felt like she was losing Mia all over again, and this time it felt even worse because she knew what she was missing. One evening, Ilara sat alone in her room, looking at the photos from their visit. She felt tears forming in her eyes. Had she made a mistake by visiting? Maybe it had only made the distance feel more painful. She started to doubt herself, wondering if she was being too clingy or needy. Perhaps Mia was moving on with her life, and Alara needed to do the same. For several days, Lara didn't reach out to Mia. She tried to focus on her own life, spending time with local friends and picking up new hobbies. But nothing filled the empty space that Mia had left. Every funny moment or interesting story made Alara want to share it with her best friend. She realized that some friendships were too special to let go, even when distance made things difficult. One night, while scrolling through social media, Ilara saw photos of Mia at a party with her new friends. They all looked happy and carefree. Alara felt a sharp pang of jealousy and sadness. It seemed like Mia was building a whole new life without her. The thought made Alara feel small and forgotten. But then, something inside Alara shifted. She remembered the weekend they had spent together, how natural and easy their friendship had felt. She thought about all the years they had been close, all the support they had given each other. One weekend visit and a few busy weeks couldn't erase all of that. Alara realized she was giving up to Isley. The next morning, Alara picked up her phone with determination. She typed a message to Mia. "Hey, I know you've been busy, and that's okay. I just wanted you to know that I'm here if you need me. I miss our talks, but I understand you're building your new life. Proud of you for being so brave." She hesitated before sending it, worried that she might sound desperate. But then, she remembered her visit. How happy Mia had been to see her. True friendship meant being honest about feelings, even when it felt scary. Lara pressed. Send. Hours passed without a response, and Alara tried not to check her phone constantly. She went for a walk, cleaned her room, and even called her mom. But her mind kept wandering back to Mia. Just as she was getting ready for bed, her phone buzzed. "Ilara, I'm so sorry I've been distant. Starting this new job has been overwhelming, and I've been trying so hard to fit in here. But you're right, I've been neglecting what matters most. You're my best friend, and I don't want to lose that. Can we talk tomorrow? I miss you too." Alara felt tears of relief and happiness. She quickly replied, "Of course, I'm always here for you. We'll figure this out together." The next day, they had a long video call. Mia explained how difficult it had been to balance her new life with maintaining old friendships. She admitted that she had been afraid of holding Alara back or making her feel bad about the distance. They both realized they had been protecting each other's feelings in ways that actually hurt their friendship. "Let's make a promise," Alara said during their call. "No matter how busy we get, we'll always be honest with each other. If we're struggling, we'll say so. If we need space, we'll ask for it. But we won't just disappear from each other's lives." Mia nodded eagerly. "I promise. You mean too much to me to let distance win." As they ended their call, Alara felt a deep sense of peace. Had faced her fears about losing Mia and had fought for their friendship. She understood now that maintaining a long-distance friendship required effort from both sides. But it was worth it. Looking at herself in the mirror that night, Alara smiled. What? She had been meant to give up on their friendship, but 10 seconds. Later, she walked out of her doubts, ready to keep fighting for what mattered most. After their honest conversation, Alara felt more hopeful about her friendship with Mia. They had made promises to stay connected, and for a few weeks everything seemed perfect. They texted regularly, had video calls, and shared stories about their daily lives, but then life threw them another challenge that tested their bond in ways Alara never expected. It started when Mia mentioned that her new job was sending her on a 3-month assignment to another country. She would have limited internet access and would be working long hours. Ilara felt her heart sink as Mia explained the situation during their weekly video call. "I'm so sorry, Ilara," Mia said, her voice filled with worry. "I know we just got back on track, and now this happens. I don't want you to think I'm abandoning you again." Ilara forced a smile, trying to hide her disappointment. "It's okay, Mia. This is a great opportunity for you. I'm proud of you for getting such an important assignment." But inside, Ilara felt like she was losing Mia all over again. 3 months felt like forever, especially when they had just learned how to balance their long-distance friendship. After they ended the call, Ilara sat in her room feeling overwhelmed. Just when things were getting better, another obstacle appeared. The first few weeks of Mia's assignment were the hardest. Ilara would go days without hearing from her friend. When messages did come, they were brief and rushed. Ilara understood that Mia was busy, but the silence felt deafening. She found herself checking her phone constantly, hoping for any sign of communication. One particularly difficult evening, Ilara almost gave up entirely.
Ow.
She stared at her phone, thinking about sending a message saying that maybe they should take a break from trying to maintain their friendship. It's too painful to keep hoping for connection when life kept pulling them apart. But then Ilara remembered something her grandmother had once told her. The best things in life are worth fighting for, even when the fight gets tough. She realized that her friendship with Mia was one of those things. Instead of giving up, she decided to find creative ways to stay connected. Ilara started writing letters to Mia. Even though she couldn't send them right away, she wrote about her day, her thoughts, and her feelings. It felt good to express herself, even if Mia couldn't read the letters immediately. She also began taking photos of things that reminded her of their friendship: sunsets, funny signs, cute animals, and saved them to share later. When Mia finally had a chance to call after 3 weeks of silence, Ilara was ready. Instead of complaining about the distance, she shared all the positive things she had been doing. She told Mia about the letters she had written and the photos she had collected. "You did all that for me?" Mia asked, her voice filled with emotion. "Even when you couldn't reach me?" Of course, Ilara replied. "Our friendship doesn't stop just because we can't talk every day. I carry you with me in my heart, no matter where you are." Mia started crying on the other end of the line. "I've been so worried that you would give up on me. This assignment has been harder than I expected, and I felt terrible for not being able to stay in touch." "I'm not giving up," Ilara said firmly. "We've come too far to quit now. When you get back, we'll have so much to catch up on. And until then, I'll be here, cheering you on from far away." Their conversation lasted only 20 minutes, but it recharged both of their spirits. Ilara realized that true friendship wasn't about constant communication. It was about unwavering support. Even during the quiet times, over the remaining weeks of Mia's assignment, Ilara continued writing letters and collecting memories. She also started a countdown calendar, marking off each day until Mia's return. Instead of feeling sad about the distance, she began to feel excited about their reunion. When Mia finally returned and read all of Ilara's letters, she was amazed by her friend's dedication. "You never stopped believing in us," she said with wonder. Ilara smiled, feeling proud of her perseverance. She had been meant to give up when things got difficult, but 10 seconds later, she walked out of that despair, choosing hope and determination instead. Their friendship had survived another test, and it was stronger than ever. When Mia returned from her 3-month assignment, Ilara thought their friendship troubles were finally over. It survived the distance, the silence, and all the challenges that came with maintaining a long-distance friendship. But life had one more test waiting for them, and this time it would push Ilara to her absolute limits. Everything started well. Mia was back, and they resumed their regular calls and messages. Ilara felt like they had found their rhythm again. But then, during one of their video calls, Mia shared news that shattered Ilara's world. "Ilara, I need to tell you something," Mia said, her voice serious. "My company offered me a permanent position here, but it's in a different time zone. The hours will be completely opposite to yours. When you're awake, I'll be sleeping, and when I'm awake, you'll be asleep." Ilara felt her heart drop. After everything they had been through, this felt like the cruelest twist of fate. "What does that mean for us?" she asked, trying to keep her voice steady. I don't know, Mia admitted, tears forming in her eyes. I want to take the job, it's everything I've worked for, but I'm scared we'll lose touch completely. Maybe it's time to. Except that we're growing in different directions. After they ended the call, Alara felt completely defeated. She had fought so hard to keep their friendship alive, but this felt impossible. How could they maintain a relationship when they would never be awake at the same time? For the first time since Mia had moved away, Alara seriously considered giving up. For several days, Alara didn't contact Mia. She felt angry, sad, and exhausted from constantly fighting for their friendship. She started to believe that maybe some friendships weren't meant to survive distance and time differences. Perhaps it was time to let go and move on with her life. But as Alara sat in her room, looking at all the photos and letters from their friendship, something inside her refused to surrender. She remembered every challenge they had overcome together, every moment of joy they had shared, and every promise they had made to each other. This friendship had shaped who she was, and she wasn't ready to lose it without one final fight. Alara spent the entire night thinking and planning. If traditional communication wouldn't work with their opposite schedules, she would have to get creative. She researched different ways people maintained relationships across time zones and came up with a plan that excited her. The next morning, Alara called Mia with renewed energy. I have an idea, she said before Mia could speak. What if we create a shared online journal? We can write to each other whenever we have time, like leaving messages for each other to find. We can share photos, voice messages, and even videos. It'll be like having a conversation that spans across time. Mia was quiet for a moment, then her voice filled with hope. That's actually brilliant. We could make it our own private space, like a digital version of passing notes in class. Exactly, Alara said, feeling more excited than she had in weeks. And we can schedule one call per week when our schedules overlap, even if it's just for 15 minutes, quality over quantity, right? They spent the next hour planning their new communication system. Alara felt proud of herself for not giving up when things seemed impossible. She had learned that true friendship required adaptation and creativity, not just effort. Over the following weeks, their shared journal became a beautiful record of their friendship. They wrote daily entries, shared photos of their meals, left voice messages about their dreams and fears, and even created silly videos to make each other laugh. The time difference that had seemed like an insurmountable obstacle became just another challenge they had conquered together. One evening, Zella wrote in their journal, she reflected on how far they had come. She realized that their friendship had become stronger, not despite the challenges, but because of them. Every obstacle had taught them something new about commitment, creativity, and love. Looking at her reflection in her computer screen, Alara smiled. She had been meant to give up when faced with impossible circumstances, but 10 seconds later, she walked out of that defeat, ready to innovate and fight for what mattered most. Their friendship would survive anything. 1 year had passed since Mia first moved away, and Alara could hardly believe how much their friendship had grown through all the challenges. Their shared online journal had become a treasure chest of memories, filled with thousands of messages, photos, and voice recordings. They had successfully navigated time differences, busy schedules, and moments of doubt. But now Alara faced what felt like the ultimate test of their bond. During one of their weekly video calls, Mia shared news that made Alara's heart race with both excitement and fear. Alara, I've been thinking a lot lately, Mia said, her eyes bright with possibility. I miss home. I miss you. I've been looking into jobs back in our hometown, and I think I found something perfect. Alara felt a surge of joy, but it was quickly followed by worry. Really? You'd come back? But what about your career there? You've worked so hard to build your life in your new place. I have, Mia agreed. But I've realized that success means nothing if I can't share it with the people I love most. Our friendship has taught me that some things are more valuable than any job or opportunity. As they talked about the possibility of Mia returning, Alara felt overwhelmed with emotion. After fighting so hard to maintain their long-distance friendship, the idea of being close again seemed almost too good to be true. But she also worried about the pressure this might put on their relationship. What if things had changed too much? What if they couldn't recapture what they once had? Over the next few weeks, as Mia went through the job application process, Lara found herself experiencing a mix of hope and anxiety. She had grown so much during their time apart, learning to be independent and strong. She wondered if she had become too used to missing Mia, and whether having her back would feel as natural as she hoped. The day Mia called to say she had gotten the job and would be moving back in 2 months, Ilara felt her world shift. All the sadness, longing, and determination of the past year had led to this moment. She was getting her best friend back. I can't believe it's really happening, Ilara said, tears streaming down her face. After everything we've been through, you're actually coming home. We did it, Ilara, Mia replied, crying too. We kept our friendship alive across all that distance and time. We proved that some bonds are unbreakable. As the moving day approached, Ilara prepared for Mia's return. With the same creativity and determination she had shown throughout their separation, she planned a welcome home party, gathered all their mutual friends, and even created a photo album documenting their long-distance friendship journey. When Mia finally arrived back in town, Lara was waiting at the train station with a sign that read, "Welcome home, best friend." The moment they saw each other, they ran into each other's arms, laughing and crying at the same time. It felt like coming full circle after a long, difficult journey. We made it, Mia whispered as they hugged. We actually made it through everything. I never doubted we would, Ilara replied, though she knew that wasn't entirely true. There had been moments of doubt, times when giving up seemed easier. But they had chosen to fight for their friendship every single time. In the weeks that followed, Ilara and Mia discovered that their friendship had not only survived the distance, but had become deeper and stronger because of it. They had learned to communicate better, to appreciate each other more, and to never take their bond for granted. One evening, as they sat in their old favorite cafe, Mia looked at Ilara with admiration. You know what I realized? You never gave up on us. Even when I was ready to quit, you kept finding ways to make it work. Ilara smiled, feeling proud of the journey they had completed together. I learned that true friendship is worth fighting for, no matter how impossible it seems. Looking back on everything they had overcome, Ilara understood that she had been meant to lose hope many times throughout their separation. But each time, 10 seconds later, she walked out of that despair, choosing love, creativity, and determination. Instead, their friendship had not only survived, but had become a testament to the power of human connection and the strength that comes from never giving up on what matters most.